Solitary stone.
We just looked at him.
Let's go over there.
What up, bro?
Boss, you good? My boy.
Let's go. They got real in here, man, because he just stepped in. The money man just stepped in.
After seeing OTF members turn against him in court, Lil Durk retaliated by showing the authorities a video of King Von shopping alone with 3 suspects, D.I., Voney, and Boogie, after OTF Jam provided the government with evidence linking Durk and OTF to the criminals. Don't go there, boss, you good, my boy, they got here, man, cause he just stepped in, the money man stepped in. However, Durk already got revenge on Jam for snitching against him because it was reported that OTF Jam was found by OTF members hiding in a crib outside of Atlanta. Sources claim Jam faced consequences for snitching on Lil Durk. It even revealed a photo of the scene where Jam was staying. Since the incident, Jam's been silent and no one's heard from him, but it was only the beginning of people outing Lil Durk because Brick Baby straight up said people can't say. Durk never slid for King Val anymore because they took out Lil P. Let just see 5 Chicago gang members with ties to Lil Durk. OTF accused of being hired to Quando Rondo in the LA incidents where Lil was alive. Suspects face the penalty if convicted. He said indictment alleged. Their flights and rental cards were paid with credit cards linked to OTF. But was this an attempted hit, or say that no more? Then they put you as, oh yeah, cause of your face. Wait, no, like who died? You can't say that no more. Oh, cause of FBG Cash talking about federal charges in California, cause Little P. So this is about the music. Oh, I see. However, I'm only stating that they just state that you can't say that anymore. As the arrest of Lil Durk has sparked a wave of reactions, with many people expressing concern about his safety, especially considering the dangerous nature of the environment he's in. However, Charleston White, a well-known figure with strong opinions about the hip-hop industry, offered a perspective that was less sympathetic. White argued that Durk's arrest is a positive development, particularly because it represents the fall of what he sees as a demonic force spreading across America. In his view, the drill music culture originating from Chicago has been a dark influence on both the local and national levels. White believes that this arrest marks the end of drill music's dominance and the rise of drill rappers in the mainstream. He sees this as a victory for law-abiding citizens who love hip-hop but are weary of the violent and destructive aspects that often accompany it. According to White, drill music glorifies violence and criminal behavior, which he argues is harmful to society, especially to young listeners who may be influenced by the lifestyle and mentality that drill rap promotes. Yet, while White's comments might resonate with some, others are more concerned about the personal consequences for Durk. His arrest, coupled with the ongoing tensions between him and other members of the hip-hop community, raises serious concerns about his safety, especially in light of the increasing animosity surrounding his name. Durk's rapid prison transfer is thought to have been prompted by issues within his cell block, particularly concerns over his safety. Sources close to the situation suggest that Durk may have been targeted by other inmates seeking to take advantage of his high profile, possibly in exchange for commissary or money. The situation has grown more complicated after Lil Tim and Quando Rondo, 2 key figures involved in the violent conflict surrounding the death of King Von, gave interviews discussing the events that led to the fatal confrontation. In the aftermath of King Von's death, emotions have run high. Lil Tim, who was responsible for shooting Von, expressed regret over the situation but also defended his actions, saying he was merely protecting his little brother. In his interview, Tim suggested that the altercation that night could have been avoided, but he emphasized that his primary motivation was self-defense. He acknowledged the tragic outcome, but from his perspective, he felt it was necessary to act in the moment. However, Tim's statements also shed light on the complex dynamics within the rap world, where loyalty to friends and self-preservation can sometimes overshadow other concerns, such as the potential consequences of violent actions. Quando Rondo, another central figure in the situation, also opened up about the aftermath of the events surrounding King Von's death. He expressed a sense of regret, mentioning that he never intended for things to escalate to the point they did. He reflected on the fact that Lil Durk, who had been close to King Von, now had a family to take care of and responsibilities that he had put in jeopardy due to the violent conflict. Rondo's comments reveal a deeper awareness of the consequences of these feuds, both on a personal level and within the broader scope of the hip-hop community. He acknowledged that Durk's family and personal life were impacted by the ongoing tension, and he seemed to express a sense of sorrow for the choices that had been made, leading to the tragic loss of life and the ongoing violence. In many ways, the situation involving Durk, Lil Tim, Quando Rondo, and the death of King Von highlights the ongoing struggles within the hip-hop world. What began as a music genre that resonated with young people, particularly from marginalized communities, has increasingly been associated with violence and criminal behavior. The narrative around drill music, while offering a voice to many who feel disenfranchised, also contributes to the perpetuation of a cycle of violence and retaliation. While Charleston White's comments reflect a desire for change, the real challenge remains in addressing the deep-rooted issues within the culture and finding ways to prevent further harm to individuals like Durk, who find themselves caught in the crossfire of this ongoing conflict. As the situation continues to unfold, it remains unclear what the future holds for Lil Durk and his career. For now, the tension surrounding his arrest and the violence that has followed it serves as a stark reminder of the complex relationship between fame, violence, and the music industry. The hope, for many, is that this marks a turning point where the cycle of violence can be broken and the focus can shift back to the music itself without the destructive elements that have come to define too much of the culture. Beef, whoever on my side, they got kids and a mama that 100% love them, and at the end of the day, bro, all this bull that we talking about is stupid. That could have been handled a totally different way. Could have been handed to the point where a song and 3-4 million could have came out, or whatever, like they could have got handled in a legit way, in a music way. However, the Durk situation is concerning, but thankfully we finally heard from Durk in jail, as a street friend called him and captioned the post, "Just got off the phone with my brother Lil Durk. He's in good spirits, staying positive and trying to get back home to his kids and family. We're not glorifying negativity. We're more than just street guys. We're men of honor and the code, no matter our financial status, bro. Hit the main line with the rest of our kind. No protective custody. This call comes from a federal prison." I said, I know you're, but if you need anything, you know I got you count here. I know how that is, bro, but it doesn't matter because we haven't ever moved money before, aside from the first time it happened. Then everything was like, what P like, man? You know you, man. Send me upstairs, whatever it is I got to. This call reveals Durk was offered protective custody but turned it down, and we saw DJ Academics share why he believes the call should have never been made public. With all due respect to whoever 900 bra is, again, with all due respect to you, the guy's fighting for his life. I get it. Maybe for whatever reason, which I still think would be a dumb reason. Let's say that Durk wants to address the people. You know how you put this out, you say, yo, Durk, we on you. Let him say what he's saying to the public and you cut it off. We don't need to hear why back and forth, because a lot of this audio kind of feels like maybe this wasn't how Durk wanted to first communicate with everybody in the world. Anything he does is going to go viral. Having a conversation about, even if you think it's in good faith, yo, we don't move off money now, blah, blah, blah. It don't sound right, brother, ever. When getting into the back and forth between Lil Durk and Quando Rondo that set off the entire situation it all began with. Quando Rondo rapping this: "After King Von past man ran up on me, then we sprayed him. I'm talking lights out. We do the dash in that Durango, jumped out with that pipe out. So tell them to pipe down." Durk followed it up by warning Q's crew he was coming after them with the lyrics they like Durk. He a singer, he won't do something you can believe. Whatever you want, I had your parents struck. And shortly after that, 3 individuals are being searched by police for allegedly attacking a Savannah rapper and a member of his entourage in Los Angeles. The incident was caught on tape, but some official lyrics that were released in court revealed the lyrics. Watch the TV and watch your kid yelling, "No, no." This is Durk making fun of Quando Rondo for his reaction to the accident, which left the guy in the vehicle in a panic. However, additional details are pouring from as the biggest snitch against Durk. Some fans turned into investigators and looked into where Jam might have been wearing a wire with Lil Durk. They saw this Instagram live of him repeatedly grabbing his jacket as if he was wearing a wire, similar to back in the music day on your A going lie man, hey R, to what happened to D, all that whooping on the Engatro. The trial reveals that rumors circulating the court reveal footage from Jam recording the planning process of OTF catching Quando Rondo's crew. The most heartbreaking aspect of Jam wearing a wire against Durk is the fact that just a year prior, Jam had expressed his gratitude to Durk for stepping in to help him during his time in prison. Durk had provided for Jam's protection behind bars, ensuring that he wasn't left vulnerable. But beyond that, Durk had gone above and beyond, even buying Jam a car and setting him up with a place to live after his release. And this kind of generosity and loyalty was something that Jam deeply appreciated, and it's clear from the story that they had a bond rooted in trust and support, at least at that time. Jam had just returned from a long stretch in prison, having spent 12 years behind bars. In the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that long ago that he had gotten out, and for someone who had been away for so long, the world had changed drastically. He had managed to carve out a fresh start thanks to Durk's assistance. Jam had been out for barely over a year, and yet here he was, tangled in a betrayal that seemed almost unimaginable to those who knew the depths of his history with Durk. The question that lingered in Jam's mind was how quickly things had gone wrong. How did we get here, Jam must have wondered, remembering how Durk had been there for him when he needed it most. This was not just a financial transaction, this was a matter of loyalty. Durk had gone out of his way to ensure that Jam was taken care of, offering him gifts and security. But there was one particular moment that stood out. After Jam's release, Durk surprised him with an additional $50,000, a gesture that seemed to reinforce just how much Durk valued their relationship. Durk's generosity wasn't something that needed to be asked for, it was given freely. He had expressed his desire to see Jam do well, to thrive beyond the walls of the prison that had confined him for so long. In the words of Durk, Jam, get out that Jam and give him 50. These weren't just words, they were actions that showed the depth of Durk's commitment to Jam's success and well-being. For Jam, Durk had been more than just a friend, he was a lifeline. Durk's words resonated deeply, and Jam, grateful for everything Durk had done, would never forget those acts of kindness. After all, Jam had come from nothing, he had no name, no claim to wealth or recognition when he got out of prison. The money, the car, the home, it was all part of the new life that Durk had helped him build. Jam was thankful, but somewhere along the way, things took a turn for the worse. It's easy to forget that Jam had been a loyal member of the OTF, only the family crew, one of its most dedicated members. However, his loyalty was ultimately tested when he was caught by federal authorities and was facing another charge of firearm possession. Faced with this dire situation, Jam made a decision that would haunt him for the rest of his life. He flipped. In the face of pressure, the weight of his past, and the threat of additional prison time, Jam chose to cooperate with the feds, wearing a wire against Durk. This wasn't just a simple act of betrayal, it was a desperate move born out of fear and the need for survival. When you've spent so much time in the system and the walls are closing in on you, it's hard to know who you can trust. Jam's decision was one of self-preservation, but it came at a cost that was too high. His betrayal was the ultimate sign that loyalty, no matter how deeply rooted, can be torn apart when personal stakes are on the line. The tragic irony of it all is that Jam's connection with Durk had once been built on a foundation of support and trust. Now that very foundation was crumbling under the weight of Jam's choices. The very person who had once helped him rebuild his life was now the target of his betrayal. Durk, having shown such kindness, never expected such a turn of events. Jam, on the other hand, was left with the heavy burden of his decision, one that would follow him for the rest of his life. This wasn't just about money or gifts, it was about a bond that was broken in the most painful way imaginable. In the end, it wasn't just the money or the prison time that defined Jam's story, it was the deep betrayal of a friendship that had once seemed unbreakable. He faced a long sentence for it and decided he'd sign a deal to inform Durk, but more lyrics leaked in the courtroom that will be used against Durk. Say they told me they got an Addy, they got the location go. This set of lyrics might link to how Brick Baby said he would have dropped Quando Rondo's location if Lil Durk had ever asked. Is that then it's people like you lined up somebody from your hood like, listen, I didn't, but at the end of the day, what's wrong with giving my